Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011111911.
All right, Jeff and Jeremy here. It's time for the Justin Stearns Assist Home Loans poll question at KZOZ.com. Mortgage rates, hey, you know what? They're coming down. It's time to look at maybe refinancing, because I'll tell you what's going on right now. We got a new administration coming in, and the markets are doing well. Inflation is doing well.
Did Trump ring the bell yesterday?
And Trump rung the bell yesterday. Yes, he did, Jeff. Nice job. So
that's interesting.
You might want to look into Justin Stearns. He's the number one Google-rated guy on the internet for San Luis Obispo County. Justin Stearns at Assist Home Loans. All right, let's get to the poll question. I know this is something that you like to dabble in. As a matter of fact, you ended up marrying one of them. 54% of people, Jeff, say they're afraid to get into an office romance. And they're afraid to do it because of the tension that might occur after maybe the relationship or the dating.
Well, Jeremy,
is over.
when you work as hard as I do, the only place that you can meet people is at work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the question is, how many office romances have you been in? And your options are 3 or more. I really like to get to know my coworkers. 2, because 1's never enough. 1, I'll try anything once, or 0, it's not for me. And I ask you, Jeff, over the course of your life,
3 or more. But I will say this. It's at 3.
We are so opposite in so many things, because I am a 0.
We are I am right at 3, and 2 of them came in the 90s. So it was a different time when it was not frowned upon.
And you were serious with one of your other coworkers. You guys lived together. You guys talked about a future.
Yeah, but so this is how it worked, though, with both her and my wife. Like, yeah, we started dating, but then they quit their jobs for the companies that we worked for shortly after.
Well, your wife went to work for another company, so she left our company. And the first girl, she went to another profession.
Yes. So it was like, she was fired from the job because.
Oh, she was fired? Okay. Your girlfriend, not your wife.
I had something to do with the firing because we went out on the party barge on a Sunday when everybody was supposed to be at work and nobody showed up to work.
You were like Teflon when it came to calling in sick and partying.
Why I didn't get fired is beyond me.
Yes, you should have been fired probably so many times and weren't fired. You're literally like everything just slid off of you. I don't know how you did it.
I remember saying to her, I'm like, how do you get fired? I do this all the time. Like, what did you say? Like, I didn't say anything. I just didn't show up. I'm like, no, you got to call me. You got to get ahead of that. You got to get ahead of it.
When we started in radio, internshipping was free. You didn't get paid for it. You were just happy to a radio station would bring you on to teach you stuff. And I think you got fired from that job.
I did. I got fired from internship.
But that time it was actually a legitimate car breakdown.
Right. The clutch went out on the freeway.
But the problem was you'd already called in for party barging it, I think, a couple of times.
No. Not that job. That job I never ever, sometimes I'd be like, hey, listen, I worked all night. I went to school all week. Is there any way somebody else could do these duties that I'm coming down there and doing for free? And I may have done that 1 or 2 times. And then this was probably the 3rd time, but it was legit. My clutch went out on the freeway. I had a manual transmission car, and I had to drive in 2nd gear on the freeway, which is probably great for the engine and the transmission, right? Because I'm driving 45 miles an hour.
Oh my God, that's fast for 2nd gear.
Yeah, no, I know.
In a 4-banger.
But you're no, it was a 6-cylinder. It was the BMW.
Oh, I thought it was the Civic. Sorry. Okay.
No, it would have blown the engine on the Civic for sure. But I was like, all I got to do is make it 5 miles home. 5 miles home. That's all I got to do. I got home, and it was like Valentine's Day or something like that.
It was. Was it a company? Oh no, there was a station event. That's what it was.
Yeah, and I called her up. I'm like, listen, I can't get back to put those commercials in the system. And she was going to be like one of the honored MCs or something. I don't know.
No, she was just part of it. And what happened was she had to go to the event, and then she had to come back to the radio station to do.
She couldn't party with Bobby Brown.
She couldn't. Bobby Brown wasn't there. It was Bobby O. He was a DJ.
No. It was like New Edition or something like that. Like
the New Edition reunion tour. I went to that show that night. Yeah, if they would have just asked me.
Why didn't you go back and do the commercials?
Nobody asked me. I would have totally covered for you. See, our internships were so different because Jeff would only be there when he had to be. I was only supposed to be there 6 hours a week.
Well, I hated that part of it.
I was there 40 hours a week. I was there. They couldn't get rid of me. But
right.
I was trying to
I like to be there for the sports talk radio show. I hated being there for dubbing commercials in the system. It was stupid. It was like the worst job that you could ever have. And that's why nobody that was on the payroll wanted to do it. They would always push it off on the interns. And I was like,
But that's how you paid your dues. That's how you got up.
That's fine. I'm okay.
But anyways,
I think we're both working in similar markets now.
But we're talking about dating employees or coworkers.
Doesn't she live in Santa Barbara?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But I would love to have coffee with her. Kelly Bridges. She was our first boss. We didn't get paid for anything.
She was really nice, too. She was really nice.
Oh, she was really nice until you pissed her off. And then she could
fire you.
She could swing
from a job that you don't. She's a voiceover person. She's an industry leader. Okay. She's an industry leader in voiceovers and production for 30 years.
So Jeff is a 3 or more. I'm a 0.
She's about to be replaced.
But what is the number? What is the number of women that you've dated
3.
that you've worked with?
3.
That's it?
3.
That's it. Yeah. Who was the third?
The very first was the third, or the one that you don't know of, because before I met you, it was just a girl I worked with, and we.
But you did date our promotion director's
couple months
for a little while.
Yes, that doesn't count. She didn't work here.
The closest thing, though, her roommate did. You really like to keep your ties close to the office.
I'm looking up Kelly Bridges right now.
God.
Oh my gosh. What a fake. What a fraud.
All right, don't say anything disparaging about her.
When she worked on the country stations in that market, she wasn't Kelly Bridges. She was Kelly West and Karen Casey.
Oh, West.
Karen Casey.
She was Kelly West. I wonder if she stole my last name.
Before you worked for her.
Oh, before I even worked for her. So this would have been early 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
She's the public address announcer at Shumash.
At the Shumash Casino? She's the public address announcer. What is that?
Yeah, like I guess she announces when Bobby Brown comes in. So she's still keeping her Bobby Brown ties.
When Cindy from Orchid wins the Wheel of Fortune Monopoly, whatever machine, and she's like, Cindy from Orchid.
Well, no, see, I don't. Yeah, maybe that's what she does.
Yeah, because they have the system in there. Okay, that's great. So next time you go to Shumash and you hear that voice, just know that voice fired Jeff's ass.
Ask her about it.
93.3 KZOZ rocks the 805.
This is the funniest AI thing I've ever seen so far. And we're in the early stages. But I saw a video of Aaron Rodgers on Facebook at a press conference talking about his new Netflix documentary. Did you know that he has a documentary coming out?
Oh, gosh. How? For somebody that, he's so mild-mannered. But there needs to be a lot of attention paid to him, doesn't there? I mean, a huge amount of attention paid to him. And I feel like he's, the older he gets, he knows, he sees that it's coming to an end. Obviously, look at what happened with the Jets this year. Yeah. It's coming to an end. He should not be out there. But he's trying to string this thing along.
One of his quotes, I guess, in a story was, I'll take credit for all the good things that happened with the Jets this year. I can't take credit for anything else.
It's a real team player, isn't it?
I love this guy. So this is, at first I didn't know this was AI, but then, because he's at a press conference and he's talking, but this is the funniest thing.
He has 3 things. He has 3 things that he can take credit for. The 3 wins that they have.
I wanted to play this for you, Jeff, because I think you'll find it pretty funny. He leads a really weird life outside of football, right? He's in the jungle. He's in caves. He does the thing where he goes in a room for a week by himself and it's black.
I feel like a lot of it, though, is just to get attention.
Do you think he really does this stuff?
Here's the thing. There's a difference between Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers, okay? Joe Burrow has a swimsuit model holed up at his house, so when his house gets robbed, the swimsuit model calls, not his wife, but the swimsuit model calls the cops and says, hey, somebody's robbing Joe Burrow's house. And they're like, who are you? She's like, I'm just swimsuit model here.
You don't say your name, you just say what you do?
That is an interesting life. Going and spending some time in a cave in Oregon is not, okay?
That Joe Burrow sound is really funny. I'm trying to find it because I don't have it in front of me right now.
As if the Bengals don't have enough distractions from a horrible defense. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, Joe, your house got robbed. Okay. And by the way, the swimsuit model that was there ended up calling the police. Okay.
So, Joe, we're going to need you to do a press conference, and we're going to need you to address this situation and just, try to keep it short. And he's like, okay.
I love it. It's great. This stuff writes itself. That's what I love about the NFL.
I'll get out there.
Someone is trying to break into the house right now. My daughter is there. This is Joe Burrow's house. She is staying there. He's at the football game. She's wondering what she should do, if she should be hiding or if she should be going outside.
That someone's trying to break in?
Yes, she said someone was in the house.
Someone broke into my house.
Weird.
It's like completely messed up.
Weird stuff. Where's that sound that we had of Joe Burrow talking about it? 'Cause that was really pretty good too.
There's a lot of things going on. I could paraphrase.
I got it. So here he is at his press conference.
So obviously everybody has heard what has happened. I feel like my privacy has been violated in more ways than one.
Uh-huh.
And
what does that mean, Joe? Does that mean that everybody knows you're cheating on your wife with a swimsuit model?
You got to concoct a better lie than that. Like, yes, I Airbnb my house when I'm on the road.
How hard is that? Everybody's doing it nowadays.
And Airbnb probably would give you an endorsement fee for it.
Violated in more ways than one. And way more is already out there than I would want out there and that I care to share. So that's all I got to say about that.
All right.
We live a public life, and one of my least favorite parts of that is the lack of privacy, and that has been difficult for me to deal with my entire career. Still learning, but I understand it's the life.
How about this, Joe?
That we choose.
How about
doesn't make it any easier to deal with.
Maybe don't go buy Did you hear last week he bought a Batmobile? Like some car manufacturer is manufacturing Batmobiles, and they're like $2.9 million, and he bought one. Like, it's a little flashy.
This is Aaron Rodgers talking about his new Netflix documentary, which is going to be coming out here pretty soon. And I'll just let you listen to it. When I started listening to it, I had to stop, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to play this for Jeff. So here it is.
People love to make jokes about me because they don't really know me. So, but I'd like to see them crack a joke after they watch me performing a mind meld with a lonely fig tree to deeply empathize with its plight before I humbly sup on its fruits, or the spiritual odyssey I took to Egypt instead of attending training camp where I met a psychic.
Okay, this is not real.
Who helped
real.
me communicate.
No, that's what I was saying. This is an AI thing.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like an impersonator or something, which would have been awesome if it was a real person. How a real person could encapsulate the spirit of Aaron Rodgers like that, but AI is still funny. Who did this?
It was some Facebook page I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, that's the thing with the AI things is like people don't want to lend a name to it or get credit for it. So it's like some kind of like, because they could get sued because of what was happening with the Taylor Swift stuff and all that stuff.
Right.
So they could get sued, and especially by somebody like Aaron Rodgers, who will sue the payouts off of you.
So there's more. It gets funnier, believe it or not. This is Aaron Rodgers. Now I don't know if this is his voice. I'm watching the video of him standing at a podium talking, and he's saying these words. So this is where AI gets me. But
did you share this on our Facebook page?
No, I did not. I did not. I probably can though.
Is it on Facebook?
Yes, I'd have to go back and find it, but I can try to do that.
Okay.
But anyways, let me just play some more because it's pretty funny. So this is him talking about his new documentary and how he thinks fans would really appreciate him as a person more than just a football player if they just got to know him a little better.
And don't even get me started on my pilgrimage to the Himalayas, where I sought out the legendary goat of enlightenment and sipped the milk of the Maji straight from its sacred teats, and wait until they see the part where I host a 3-hour seance with retired yoga instructor to reconcile with every coach who ever wronged me, unlocking my ultimate Sigma chakra in the process. Or that time I snorted kale dust while listening to whale songs for an entire month to synchronize my body's rhythm with the ocean. Oh, and there's the scene where I try to astral project into the Patriots' locker room showers to steal their defensive strategies. But the real climax, no one will be able to laugh at, is when I attempt to channel the essence of Vince Lombardi by wrapping myself in a cocoon made out of flattened cheese curds and bake myself under a harvest moon. No one will be laughing when they realize how perfectly normal I am when the cameras aren't on and the only one watching is the all-seeing eye of Osiris.
Nailed it. I mean, that sounds like it is just lifted from the Pat McAfee show. I mean, it just there is an appearance on the Pat McAfee. I mean, it is so spot on, and I love it. And you know what?
If this is AI, I love it. I know there's bad AI, but this is the good AI, and I'll
listen. I've made no qualms that I do not respect Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks of all time. But I would have newfound respect for him if he went and reshot the documentary and added all that stuff that was in the AI suggestions. You go along and you do all these things. Snorting kale dust while listening to whale music.
Not whale music.
Not outside.
The sounds of whales breeding.
The sounds of whales. Okay, yes. Listen, not outside the realm of reality in Aaron Rodgers' world.
Anybody ever snorted any kill dust? Let us know. That doesn't sound too good.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KCOZ rocks.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, wait. Hi, can you hear me now? Hello?
Oh, I can't hear.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You there?
We're here.
Okay, good. So, we're having an issue with the phone. We apologize. They had to make some switches on the phone yesterday, so but we figured it out.
They didn't switch it back, but we were able to take a hammer to the flux capacitor, which is back on the wall, and beat the crap out of it.
Actually, I just pushed a button over here, and now he can hear us.
I wish I had a hammer.
Oh.
It's not as cool as a flux capacitor.
Or a hammer.
Program 3 button. But 54%, what's your name, by the way?
Kyle.
54% of pet owners have purchased this for their pet.
Is it a stocking for Christmas?
No, it's not a stocking for Christmas.
Is it pet insurance?
It is pet insurance. Good job, Lynn.
When you have an English bulldog, you have to have pet insurance. All right, it's not fair. That's not even fair. It's not fair. They have too many issues, man. Too many issues.
How many times have you made claims on your dogs?
More than you want to know. He had a gastrointestinal thing when we had to change his food. They did one of those scans on him, like we see in the cartoons, where somebody steps in front of a wall and they eat something, and you see it go down their throat through their stomach. He did one of those.
It is such a weird insurance field to be a part of that I got to think that, like, I mean, I put this up there. When I think about it, I think about it as if it would be like travel insurance. I feel like travel insurance is something that you buy, and they never make good on. They find some kind of loophole on it. They're like, oh, well,
it just happened to us. Remember that hurricane that was forming? So my buddy canceled all our flights, tried to get his money back because he bought them on. We reimbursed him because, easier to do on one credit card.
Yeah.
He bought the trip insurance or the airline insurance, but they said, oh, but you didn't check the box that said you would get your money back. Like, what the hell is the point of trip insurance? So I'm like, wait a second, what did I pay for then? Oh, well, if you were sick in the hospital. I'm like, oh my God. It is so, that insurance is so, you just want to strangle somebody.
And I feel like that the pet insurance would have those kind of barriers to payment or make good. Is it just like, like being part of a HMO or a PPO? You just show them the card and then they're like, okay, your copay's $20, or how does it work?
For the insurance for the dog, it's a copay just like you would do for a normal person.
Interesting.
And I think his is $250. And then for procedures, I don't think there's a copay to go to the vet. I think it's just vet visits are included, but the copay for procedures is like $250.
Yeah, if I got pet insurance, I'd be taking my dog.
And then if it's over
all the time
$5,000, I think it's 10% of whatever the bill.
What is the premium for pet insurance? I don't
know that.
Oh, okay,
I can't tell you that.
That's a CFO question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask your wife. I'm going to ask her.
I could text her and ask her.
No, it's fascinating. I would never
text Charlene. What do we pay for pet insurance a year for George?
I would never consider that as an option.
She's not.
Do you? What's your name again?
Lynn.
Lynn, do you buy pet insurance?
No, I've never had pet insurance.
Do you have pets?
I used to.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why.
I just thought, it's kind of a scam too.
I know. It feels like a scam to me. It doesn't feel like
we use it all. We
legitimate insurance. Maybe I'm wrong on it. I could be totally wrong.
Travel insurance, though, is a scam. I swear to God. And then, the other scam was you can get vacation insurance where you actually insure your vacation. So, for example, I was going to a resort lodge place in Belize, and it was $1,500. You just say goodbye to if you go on the trip. You have to pay $1,500 for insurance. And then if you don't use it, they keep the money. It's like, that's
you can get theme park
insurance. It was $1,500?
We didn't do it. But
right,
if we wanted a trip insurance. But, I mean, the trip was $6,000, so it was like...
I could have just recently lost a limb, like within 24 hours of leaving for the trip. And if they said, you're going to have to pay $1,500 to cancel this trip and then we'll give you the rest of the money back, I'd be like, no, you know what? I'm going to come along. You're going to deal with my missing arm.
That's why I flew into a hurricane. $6,000 doesn't grow on trees for me, man. That was a saved up over a year type thing. So we ended up going and it worked out. But insurance is such a big scam. And then you wonder, I hate to bring up something terrible, but
not all insurance is a scam.
Insurance people get whacked, and then you wonder why. Maybe it's just somebody who's disgruntled.
Dude, seriously? Come
disgruntled.
On,
right, Lynn? Disgruntled.
Right.
Some people are disgruntled. Well, you shouldn't be. You've got, what did she win? 2 rounds of golf?
2 rounds of golf, Hunter Ranch.
Yes.
And you get a cart as well. And good job this morning.
That could be a nice Christmas gift. Or are you going to keep it for yourself?
I'm excited about that. I'm keeping it for myself.
You like to play golf? What's your handicap?
Yes. I haven't played in a really long time, but it used to.
Don't ask women that.
I don't know.
You don't ask women their age or their handicap. You don't ask golfers that. Because number one, most golfers
shoot about a 90.
90? Do you shoot from the front tees? Do you take advantage of your...
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
She's a better golfer than you and I, Jeff.
At Hunter Ranch, especially on the back, I'd love to hit from the front tees.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Lynn, you're the best. Hey, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the SLO County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111 911.